Hello ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Jim Makes a Cartoon. I'm Jim and I'm making a cartoon. Doing a little bit more work on the most recent episode of Dictator Cat this week. By the way, I probably should have mentioned this a little while ago, but a few weeks back I uploaded a new channel trailer. Check it out, I think it's a lot better than the previous one because I'm not using a GarageBand loop and there's a lot more footage. Links to all those videos are on the usual places in the upper right corner of the video. Speaking of which, I fully expect the next episode to be out by this coming Friday. That is, of course, if I don't get too distracted playing Pokemon Go like everybody else in the world right now. Carol and I actually made a date out of it last week. She and I went down to the local park and just ran around hunting Pokemon. It was a lot of fun. I'm definitely not as obsessed with that game as a lot of people are, but I'm still having a really good time with it. And since I said the word obsession, let's segue into what seems to be on a lot of people's minds lately, and that's the quote-unquote YouTube drama everyone's talking about. Now, I know some of the things I'm about to talk about are going to be pretty touchy for some people, so please, I ask you to watch the whole video, hear me out, hear what I have to say about this, because I'm not going to take sides on any of these issues here. I definitely have some opinions on a few things that have gone down lately, but not being directly involved. I don't know that my passing of any kind of judgment will actually help anything. I don't know enough about any of the players involved in all of this nonsense here, but there seems to be this trend right now of people trying to expose YouTubers for some kind of crime they've committed or something like that. Whether that be harassment or plagiarism or shady advertising practices. Like, there are all these different scandals apparently going on right now in the YouTube community. And I'm admitting ignorance here. It seems like some of these people definitely deserve the criticism they're getting. I'm not sure that everybody does. A lot of it seems to be based on nitpicking and squabbling between people. Like, it's a lot like the high school cafeteria, honestly. The real reason I'm bringing this up is online media has really changed the relationship between creators and fans. I mean, like, way back before online media became as big as it is now, if somebody on TV or in a movie or on the radio said something that upset you, maybe you'd write them a letter. In the case of some of those call-in shows out there, you might call the show and express your displeasure. But in those forms, the complaints have minimal impact. In the case of writing a letter, it's pretty private. In the case of calling into a show, it's public, but it's for a short period of time. And in both of those cases, information about the complainants is kept fairly private. Like, we come to a point in our entertainment where fans don't just have unprecedented access to the creators they enjoy listening to, they also have full access to the people who comment on these creators. So if somebody posts some kind of video or a comment that is critical of a creator or celebrity, not only does that creator often respond to that criticism pretty instantaneously, as is their right, but because commentary is posted on a public forum, so do their fans. And this, when coupled with the rise of this online culture where fans expect to be very closely connected to creators, so much so that many might even mistake it for a personal friendship, that it becomes scary and almost dangerous in certain situations. I mean, you hear these stories about online celebrities not only trash talking each other, but then their fans are going after each other too. You hear all these stories about people being harassed to the point where they're having mental breakdowns. In one case I looked at, somebody actually got swatted. That's where somebody sends a SWAT team to your house. And this is all because people are exchanging criticisms on YouTube. Now again, sometimes that criticism is deserved, and other times it's not. Whether it is or it isn't is beside the point. What we're seeing is a rise of a sort of mob justice. And if we look at history, mob justice rarely turns out well for anybody. So the point is, I'm not saying that people are wrong to be upset about people's actions online. I'm saying we all need to be careful about who we're trying to influence. And that doesn't just go for creators. That goes for the rest of us too, who are consumers. Because that relationship is so much closer and codependent than it used to be. Everyone has huge potential to cause harm. And I hope nobody takes this as me not wanting to have a relationship with all of you out there. There is nothing wrong, and I think there actually are a lot of good things that can come out of creating a closer relationship with fans than we've seen in traditional media. But I do wonder about the people out there who have millions of subscribers creating the illusion that they actually do have this relationship with their fans. I mean, there's no way you can be close personal friends with over 1 million people. Human beings just don't have that kind of mental capacity. So it makes me wonder how healthy it is to perpetuate this illusion on crowds of people who are potentially very impressionable, especially seeing some of the results of it, with people being doxxed and having their lives turned upside down. And at the same time, you have to question what kind of accountability do creators have when maybe their fans on their own volition do something kind of crazy en masse. Even if fans do something awful and it's not at the creator's instructions, we have to ask ourselves, what have creators done to create this sort of culture? But let me know what you think about this. Am I being a little too cold for thinking that maybe some of the big creators out there shouldn't be trying to cultivate such a close relationship with their fans? Do you think there's much more positivity than negativity in these situations? Tell me about it in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And that wraps it up for the day. Thanks again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, please remember to share. It really does help the channel out. Come back next week for a new episode of Dictator Cat, and I will chat with you again the following Friday.
Bye.